the lowest term decimal fraction has a terminating decimal expansion? The answer is that it has a decimal expansion if n is divisible by no other prime other than 2. Okay. However, it is not an if and only if. So, for example, 1 half, or 1 over 8, if n is divisible by no other prime other than 2, for example 1/8, then it does terminate. It's not an if and only if, because 1 over 25 also works, and that is divisible by a prime other than 2. So 1/8 is terminating, so it's if, but 1/25 also terminates, but that's not divisible by 2, so it's an if but not an only if. Okay, for the second part, it is only if n is not divisible by 3. The theorem is that if you have m over n terminates, that implies that n is equal to 2 to the a times 5 to the b, and that implies that 3 is not a factor of n. So if m over n terminates, then n is going to be some power of 2 times some power of 5, and that implies 3 does not divide n. So if it terminates, that happens only if n is not divisible by 3. However, that's not an if and only if.